The Nurburgring's GP Streck was constructed on a former site of the pit complex of the Nurburgring's Nordschleife and Südschleife in 1982 to 1983. Originally a 12-turn circuit, the GP Streck was revamped in 2002 with the replacement of the Castrol chicane by the hog hook right-hander and subsequent omega-shaped Mercedes Arena turn, bringing the circuit to its current 16-turn, 3.2-mile layout. Along with the parabolic Dunlop curve, the track's signature section is the Michael Schumacher S, formed by turns 9 and 10. The GP Streck was the home of the German Grand Prix and or the European Grand Prix between 1984 and 2006. It subsequently alternated with Hockenheim as site of the German Grand Prix until the race was dropped from the F1 calendar altogether in 2015. The track continues to host rounds of German Touring Car Championships, Blancpain GT and Endurance Series, World Endurance Championship, and in combination with the remaining 12.9-mile Nordschleife, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. Tonight, it's round 2 of the PFR Sports Car Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the virtual Nürburgring BES WEC layout. Round 2 of the PFR Sports Car Challenge. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, awaiting the fashionably late Zach Millet. He will be here shortly. But qualifying already underway. We're not going to waste too much time before we get down to it. Again, it is round 2. We're talking a 1-hour sprint race here from Germany. 65-degree air temperature, 64% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 10-mile-per-hour breeze. We'll see if that affects these drivers as this qualifying session continues on. Let's go down trackside, see where everybody's shaking out. Terry Crouch on track, hoping to recoup from his misfortunes from last week. Crouch getting into an incident with teammate Flo Doms at Monza. Again, tonight's race, 1 hour in length. LMP2 category going to have a 55% fuel load. GT3 machines, 40%. Tire changes, unlimited tonight. Not going to limit that to these guys. They can kind of make their own decisions as to how they want to apply that tire strategy. They do have one fast repair if necessary. Take a look into GT. Nick Matthews in the 777. Matthews out in the Lamborghini this week. Matthews running a little wide. Gets the left sides in the pea gravel. Keep in mind, last week, Flo Doms, even with his incident with teammate Terry Crouch, did manage to come back and take top honors in LMP2 and the overall. GT3 winner, that was Corey Maxim in the Mercedes. Now, I haven't seen Corey in the session yet tonight. I know there was talk that he was planning on running the Porsche at one point. Last-minute changes to the session last week made that impossible. He still brought home the win. But as qualifying has started, I don't see Corey in the session. Check on Dave's seats. We got the Porsches this week, plenty of them. Dave Seats, one of those drivers with the Brumos Racing livery on that Porsche, familiar to anyone who's followed professional sports car racing over the years. Jill Crouch, first one in the stream chat tonight. Says, love the paint scheme, honey. Jill, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for saying hi. And I told you he was going to be fashionably late. Zach Millett has made his appearance up here in the HBR TV booth. What's going on, Zach? Well, I see his name lighting up here in Discord. It's just not coming through.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Got to turn the mic on, I guess.
Can you hear me?
I got you. You got me?
Got you. A little fuzzy, but I got you.
Technical difficulties to start this one off. We'll get this one out of the way during qualifying. Terry Crouch still fastest, a minute 42.519 over Alex Carver. Alex 1.1 seconds back. Check on Nick Batista in GT, the 067 Mercedes. Just past halfway in the qualifying session, the drivers do get 15 minutes. Turn their fast lap. They only get 2 laps though. So they get to choose when they hit the racetrack, track temperature. Making a difference. The cooler it gets, the better the grip tends to be. Brian Zinn, another TLDR Simsport driver, number 59, also in the Porsche. Still having some audio issues. It sounds like it's going out to the stream just fine, but unfortunately for Zach Millett, he's not getting my audio clear enough to understand what I'm saying, so we're trying to get that worked out. With that, though, we are going to jump out, take a quick break, see if we can get this squared away here. We'll be back after this.
met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
just don't know.
Back at the Nurburgring for round 2 of the PFR Sports Car Championship. Let's take a look at our starting grid on the pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 42.364. It's Terry Crouch. Starting second, Alex Carver. Row number 2, Chris Generelli in the third spot. Brandon Domain rolls fourth. Oleg Vorotnick will start 5th. Ryan Flanagan starts 6th. Kevin Blue, P7. 8th goes to Carlos Ramos. 9th starting position goes to James Bomar. 10th, Kyle Surratt. 11th, James Coulibaly. 12th, Sean Roberts. 13th, Gabriel Crozier. 14th, Kyle Moyer. 15th, Flo Doms. It's going to be at the back of the pack start for him. Chris Pio, 16th. Pole position in GT, it's going to be Kevin Burrows. Outside front row, Dave Seats. 3rd is Rob Campbell. 4th, Brian Zinn. Mike Hamlin's going to be 5th. 6th goes to Nick Matthews. 7th, Rob Henry. Joshua Heggie going to be 8th. 9th, Dalton Powell. 10th goes to Nick Batista. 11th, Brady Wilson, the G unit. 12th, Joe Tucker. And 13th goes to the 074 of Rene Garcia. Your starting grid from Nürburgring. We're going to roll here very shortly. Take the green flag, and we'll be racing in just a few moments. Well, Zach, Flo's starting in the back, but we've already been shown that that doesn't seem to make a difference for him. He had major issues last week at Monza with Terry Crouch. Still battled back and took the top spot, top honors, top step, top everything. Who's your pick this week?
Oh, man. I hate to pull a Steve Singer here, but I gotta... I know he's gonna be mad at me, but I might have to go with Terry Crouch.
I'm gonna go Flo Doms.
I like it. I like it.
GT, I'm gonna stick with Dave Seats.
Dave Seats, God, that's who I was gonna pick. Kevin Burrows. I gotta go with Kevin.
Also a good pick. Kevin, a TLDR Sim Sport driver.
We just got to get through this without Terry knowing that I picked him. That's the goal.
Yeah, he doesn't really like when you pick him.
No,
Didn't you pick him last week, though?
Yeah, unfortunately. We know how that turned out.
Just like that. Pace car is off. Field slowly working out of turn number 16.
Flag.
Green flag is in the air. We're racing from the Nürburgring. Already into the arena. Terry Crouch out in front of Alex Carver. Oh, we got somebody off track. I think it's Oleg. Oleg Vorotnick in trouble here. Lap 1. Blue and yellow number 4 is around. Looks to be minimal, if any, damage at all. But now the GT car's bearing down on him.
Ooh. Well, that's a tough spot. Get back around there, Steve. Well, luckily enough for him, it's early enough. He's got plenty of time. Like you said, it doesn't look like too much damage, if any. So he can come back.
Well, let's see what happened here. Again, opening lap, already an issue for one prototype. We'll go full speed here. Oh, just a check up in front, and then the chain reaction is on.
That going in. Nope.
Terry Crouch just about ready to wrap up lap number 1. Terry already putting about a second and a half now on Alex Carver. Chris Generelli runs in that third position, the number 19 machine. Again, unfortunately absent tonight, James Vance, Andrew Locke, unable to make it back home in time to get into the session. Certainly look forward to seeing them next week.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing them this weekend, hopefully, Steve.
Yeah, we're actually going to run into those guys out at Watkins Glen this weekend, so that'll be fun. But next week here in the PFR Sports Car Series, going to be out at Lamar. Checking back in the GT category, Kevin Burrows has taken the top spot, currently running ahead of Dave Seitz and Rob Campbell as those two continue to battle.
It's good to see those Porsches.
Woo! That was close. Porsche running second, third, and fourth ahead of the Lamborghini of Nick Matthews. Flanagan in pit lane here, not sure what the plan is with this scenario here. Was this related to that first lap incident? I think he was the driver that was on the brakes. Vorotnik got into the back of him. I don't expect to see this car go up on the jack. Maybe a stop and go. Maybe just the faster pair. Might have had the meatball for that, who knows? Flanagan's going to have some work to do here. He's got about 5 GT cars he's going to have to work his way through. Well, now 4 as he goes around the Lamborghini of Nick Matthews. It does appear to be late in the day here at Nurburgring. I expect we may see the lights on here later tonight. And I don't mean on the racetrack, I mean the headlights. Meanwhile, Kevin Burrows continues to lead in GT over Dave Seitz. Dave now eyes full of that rear view mirror, letting that LMP2 try to get on by. Seitz just carries through, runs his line. That's fine. We saw last week, driver trying to get out of the way, in essence, caused more of a problem than he was solving. Oleg Vorotnik coming through this pack as well. Remember, he spun on that first lap. And Oleg now in the pits. Still connection issues with Oleg.
I wonder if we're going to see the same thing. Just a quick use of the faster pair and then back out.
Very well could be the case. It doesn't look like it's too terribly damaged, but nonetheless, down pit lane. Maybe he's just trying to work the strategy or change up the strategy, kind of work things a little bit backwards. Which honestly, some drivers, there's 2 others leaving pit lane right now. Not a bad call. I think that was more of a faster pair though, Zach. That was a really quick in and out.
Yeah, that was definitely quick.
1.9 seconds in the box just to get the faster pair and back down the road. So no fuel involved there. Oleg making sure that I didn't call him Russian again this week. The new paint scheme with Ukraine on board.
Beautiful.
Not personal. You guys are awfully close as far as the geography is concerned. Back up in LMP2. Terry Crouch stretching his legs 5 seconds over Alex Carver in P2. that. Terry Crouch using all of that racetrack. Sean Roberts in the pits. Roberts quick in and out, 8.2 seconds in the box, so that's likely a fuel stop for the 66. Some of these guys might be trying to work some strategy here to see if they can do anything with Terry Crouch. Crouch certainly has these guys covered on pace. Checking on Flo Doms, though, he's up 9 spots already in the first 8 minutes. 5 laps in here at the Nurburgring.
And he's on a mission.
Flo out of Canada. TLDR Sim Sport driver. Best lap of the day for Flo is actually a tick faster than TLDR Sim Sport teammate Terry Crouch. Terry's best lap of minute 42.79. Flo's best of 44.621. These guys are awfully competitive with each other. Just have to throw that extra jab in there so Terry knows. Back to Kevin Burrows, still with the race lead. Let's jump on board with this BMW and see how Kevin Burrows gets around the Nürburgring. And that's a lap of the Nürburgring on board with Kevin Burrows.
Doesn't get much smoother than that, Steve.
No, later on in the race, we'll do the same with the LMP2. It'll be vastly different. Again, the GT cars running at their best, low 54s. Terry Crouch and Flo Doms in the mid to upper 42s. Pretty significant delta. Back to Dave Seats in P2. Big time traffic, not just in his own category, but some prototypes working their way into this mix as well. All kinds of power and nowhere to go with it. Oleg trying to get by the Porsche. Carlos Ramos trying to follow him on through, use Oleg as a lead blocker, but kind of frustrating, I would assume, here for Ramos as he's in behind the 4, keeps losing connection. Kind of makes it difficult to judge. You can throw off your braking markers, sight lines, turn in. It can be very distracting. We've got Brittany Burrows in the stream chat, cheering on Kevin. Brittany, thanks for coming in here and saying hello, watching the stream. Yeah, Oleg's just putting a gap. Ooh, missed the entry there. Oleg driving away from Ramos, at least it appeared that way for the moment, but off the final corner, turn 16. Ramos really closed in, but out of the corner, Oleg definitely quicker. Ryan Flanagan maybe had another issue. Let's take a look. Said lap 8 there was a problem. Oh, just a little bit of contact. I think it was Moyer possibly in front of him. It was locking him up under braking. I think they'll get away with that one.
Yeah, it's a tough spot of the track, going downhill into the turn.
They're back at it. This is a battle for position. Moyer has the 11th spot. Oh, locks him up again. Under braking into turn 16. Moyer locks up the rear brakes, opens the door for Flanagan. Flanagan goes through. Brandon Domain running in the 4th position. Almost some contact with Flo Doms and Kyle Surratt. That also a battle for position, quickly taken away. Flo Doms up into P5. Flo is on a mission. He's not wasting any time. This is only a 1-hour race, guys, so it's a sprint. You can't sit here and be very calculating and pick them off one at a time, slowly but surely. Take care of your stuff. You've got to be aggressive, and Flo is definitely doing that.
And ideally, Flo would definitely want to get the win, but I mean, he's only about 10 seconds behind second place. He could definitely make that happen with his pace.
Well, but still, I mean, we got 45 minutes left in this particular race, so Dom's running in P5. You say he's back. Oh, he's back 17 seconds from Terry Crouch. Last lap for Doms was a minute 46.61. Last lap for Terry's a 44.47. That's not going to do it. And the reason for that is not because Flo doesn't have the pace. It's just he's trying to cut through all this lap traffic. I don't say necessarily lap traffic, but GT traffic, slower moving cars comparative to the LMP2. So you can't nail every corner, and each time you try to make a pass by somebody, you're a little bit offline, but you've got the downforce and the power as compared to those GT3 cars. You're still losing time compared to everybody else with clean racetrack in the same car. Kyle Moyer having an issue on track. His Flo goes up into P4 just like that. Let's take a look, see what happened to Moyer. Just drives it off the racetrack and goes straight to pit lane. Not sure what was going on there. have to say, this layout at Nurburgring, it's probably familiar to many of you. Be it the Gran Turismo days, maybe even Forza. I'm not sure if it's on Forza or not, but I think anybody who's ever held a controller in these racing games, or even a wheel and pedals, has raced here at the Nürburgring at one point or another. It's a tough racetrack, but man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the actual like long track version. That's probably one of my favorite tracks in all of racing.
Well, see, Nordschleife with me, it's difficult. I do enjoy it. It is fun. It's very challenging. Obviously, there's no margin for error. You make one mistake, chances are you're not going to be able to correct it and keep it out of the fence. But my problem is, because that layout is so long, the additional 12.9 miles, if you add it onto this course, I don't have the attention span to start over and run the corners that I already did okay up until my crash. So it's frustrating. I don't like running it, but this layout specifically, it's enjoyable. It's just short enough. Again, just under 2 minutes in a GT car, or a minute 42 like Terry and Flo are running in these LMP2s.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was Forza or Gran Turismo, but I remember them sectioning it down into section A, B, C, and D. And yeah, easily section A and B were definitely mostly known, because every time you crash, you'd have to restart. So I can definitely understand that.
But now I think there's a new recent update here with iRacing that does allow you to restart. I haven't even tried it, but it allows you to restart without starting the entire lap over again. Oh, we got trouble in behind Flo Doms. Kyle Surratt, Brandon Domain involved. This is during into the chicane, the final couple corners, 14 and 15. Say Brandon's going to say, you know what, I'm going to hit pit lane here. It might be time. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if it's too early, but on average in LMP2, we did a little bit of research on this, and I actually have to thank Flo Doms for helping us out on it. You get a free tire change in these LMP2s, provided that you need to take more than 12.5 gallons of fuel. So to translate it to those on liters, 47 to 50 liters of fuel allows you to change tires without losing any additional time. Because with that other update that iRacing gave us, they change tires while fueling now, so that's a bonus. So you see Domain puts his up on jacks. And Brandon Domain with that throwback McLaren paint scheme. Drops the jack. Brandon Domain down and away. So let's see what happened here if we can find it. Brandon Domain off track. There it is. Just some contact. I'm thinking that might be Kyle Surratt. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think maybe Surratt thought he had room to the outside, but it seems like he just turned right to try and straighten out that corner, but he had a car to his outside, and it was Brandon Domain.
Yeah, I'm thinking he thought he was clear, but just barely caught the rear of the car there, unfortunately. That's a tough spot.
Yeah, it just drives into the left rear. I mean, I don't know. I know it's sometimes difficult to get good visibility in these closed cockpit prototypes, but I think Domain was far enough by that, I don't know, maybe you just misjudged that he wasn't clear. James Koulibaly in the pit lane as well. James 007 or /36. Gotta correct that. We did get confirmation that we were pronouncing it properly last week, so that's a plus. Meanwhile, just because Terry Crouch deserves a little bit of airtime, we'll check on the race leader in LMP2. He's 8.6 seconds up on P2, Alex Carver. Flo Dom still running in the 4th position, about 6 seconds back from 3rd place Chris Generelli.
And Terry's just flying. Oh, here he comes in for the pits. I was going to say the last lap he turned 43.2, so he must be pretty light.
Oh, little over rotation there on entry. He's getting all he can on pit entry. It's like Zach Millett in a truck.
A lot harder in these things, though, man. Oof.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we make a joke about it, but in a truck, at least, you've got a taller sidewall tire. You can kind of lean on that flex a little bit. These prototype cars, especially when you get in lower speeds, the downforce goes away. You're just pushing on that short sidewall tire, and it's either going to grip or it's not. It's very rare that you see these guys running them sideways and not going all the way around. Interestingly enough, Terry staying on the old tires. Pretty short stop, though, 19.9 seconds. I don't know how much fuel he took. But as always, we expect Terry to be very good in the strategy department, not to mention the pace. Terry comes out ahead of Dave Seats, running third in class in GT, fourth that is. Wonder what happened to Dave Seats. He was running in P2 there for quite a while. Now fourth in GT. Tell you, Zach, the way this one's going here, I hate to say it, but might be looking at another TLDR Sim Sport sweep between the two categories, LMP2 and GT.
So far.
Knocking on wood. We're not halfway yet.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx him again. None of that this week.
Just love the sound of that Porsche.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Just sitting here admiring it.
Watching the entry to that chicane, though, it's very interesting. It's uphill, and it's a very awkward approach. Well, visually, it doesn't seem the way it should be, I guess is the way I would try to describe it. Probably failing miserably in that, but that left entry that Dave had to it. It almost seemed like he was turning in far too early, but it seemed just fine. He hit the apex properly. Very deceiving set of corners. The Seat's not wasting any time. He's up on the jack. Kevin Burrows also in the pit lane. Putting lots of fuel in that BMW. Doesn't look like he put tires on. He's down and away. Kevin being very cautious to not make contact with the LMP2s. Brandon Domain now to the back bumper. Josh Heggie in the pit lane, as well as Bradley Wilson. Both drivers in a Ferrari. Kyle Moyer remains in the pit lane here. He's been there about 10 minutes. So I think his race is done. So after the pit cycle, Terry Crouch still the race leader. He's got just about 8 seconds on Ryan Flanagan. Alex Carver has slipped back to the third spot. Now Flanagan's a little bit off cycle. Don't forget, remember, he had that first lap incident with Oleg Vorotnik getting on the brakes. Oleg got into him. Both drivers needing to come to pit lane a lap or two after the incident just for the quick repair. You never know. Maybe they got a little bit of fuel splashed in that thing because Flanagan's going pretty deep on this particular stint, but he's going to have to come in. Carver still running in third. Not that far back because we got one car around. Looks like Joe Tucker. Let's see what happened to good old Joe Tucker here. Joe with Hostile Intent Gaming. Just a little too much rear brake again. It'll help you if you can make it work, but it'll hurt you if you get on them a little bit too hard. It sends the car around. Joe just quickly getting out of the way. Taking a look at the relative, make sure nobody's coming before he backs into the racing line. Lets these guys go, and then he gets back into the fray.
Got to appreciate that, Steve. See a lot of guys doing, ripping a donut in the middle of the track, right in the racing groove, right in the way of some people, but good heads up on his part, checking the relative.
Well, we're about 28, approaching 29 minutes, almost halfway here in the first hour, or the only hour that is, here at Nurburgring. We're going to jump out and get an HBR TV side-by-side break. We'll be back right after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Nurburgring, round 2 of the PFR Sports Car Series. Terry Crouch still your race leader in LMP2, your overall leader. Kevin Burrows also maintaining the top spot in GT. Tough to really call the battles here. There's not a ton of them. There's a couple here. Maybe Brian Zinn and Dave Seats. They're relatively close on the racetrack. Only about a second between the two of them. I wouldn't call it quite a battle, but they really are the closest two for position on the track at the moment, both in the Porsche. Oleg Vorotnik coming in behind Brian Zinn at the moment. Dave Seats behind Oleg. And just as we predicted there, Zach, it's getting dark here. Lights are on with all of these race machines.
I love it. I love it.
25 plus minutes remain. It's only going to get darker.
Yeah, could listen to that all day.
It's the kind of stuff you can take a nap to.
Absolutely.
That's the funny thing. We talk about going up to Watkins Glen this weekend for the 6 hours. Spend enough time up there. You can sit right next to the racetrack in the middle of practice, qualifying, even the race. And if you let yourself do it, it's easy to take a nap.
And I promise you, it's some of the best sleep you'll ever get.
Yeah, because it's already loud. What kind of noise is going to really disturb you at that point?
Tipping your beer over maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, well. That said, looks like Dave Seats is actually closing the gap between himself and Brian Zinn. There's another LMP coming. May put a fork in this situation here in just a moment.
Oh, big time there on the braking.
All right, he closed it in a whole second in just the one lap we were watching these two. Now we actually have a fight for position.
Might work out here for Dave Seats, depending on when this pass is complete. Can open the door.
This would be the battle for the third spot in GT. Still a tight battle. Dave Seats still right there to see if he gains any more ground under braking. That's what we saw the most gained for Seats. Takes a different line.
Ooh, a little wide on exit, unfortunately.
Still time to regroup. 23 minutes remain. Meanwhile, out front, Terry Crouch still in command here, 9.6 seconds up on Alex Carver. Remember, Carver was running in P3. It's more due to some pit stop strategy that wasn't quite working out. Ryan Flanagan was running in P2, but remember, he made an early stop, put him on a little bit different cycle with the rest of the LMP2 drivers. Terry now closing in on Kevin Burrows, the class leader in GT. Still teammates, different category. Checking back on Kevin Burrows, really no challengers out the back in class. Burrows up 7.5 seconds over Rob Campbell. Carlos Ramos in the LMP taking the spot away.
You know, Steve, I think we touched on Kevin Burrows being an absolute machine before. But, I mean, he's still turning and burning 55 ones compared to everybody else who's like mid to high 56s or higher.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's
not one bit.
Saw the same thing in the GT3 series last season. Him and Terry were always up in those top 3 positions, battling it out. Kevin's got pace. Just doesn't matter really where we're at either. We ran the Daytona 24 in iRacing with Kevin and Terry, myself and you included. Brett Guzik as well. Guzik not in this series anymore, but still a quick driver. Oh, that was going to be a close one. Burrows gets to the apex before the LMP can get alongside.
Boy, that was certainly some different braking power, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Alex Carver in the second place machine in LMP2. Carlos Ramos has gone off track just a bit. Don't know if he got a piece of the wall or not. Let's take a look what happened there. A little wide out of the groove, into the loose stuff, around he goes. Drives it back to the inside to stay out of traffic, just like we saw Joe Tucker do. I don't know if he got the fence at all, but if he did, it was minimal at best. So he's going to drive away from this without an issue. Rob Campbell running in P2. Haven't talked a whole lot about Rob tonight. Rob with Lunatic Racing, also in a Porsche tonight.
Steve, I don't know if we're taking any picks for the best paint scheme, but this is my pick.
It's your pick?
That's my pick. It's awesome.
Lots of pink. Sun still setting here in Nurburgring. Coming up on 18 minutes remaining. More pit stops for the LMPs. James Coulibaly makes his way down pit lane for the final time tonight. Brandon Domain close out the back window, if there was a back window. Now, Zach, I know you haven't done a ton with these LMP2 cars, but you do have some experience behind the wheel of these machines. Do they even, they don't have a rear view mirror, but they have a camera, right? Very similar to an NASCAR Next Gen car?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same setup with the camera. It's actually, I feel like it's more accurate than the mirror. It's just easier to look down and be it. I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's a lot easier to drive with than the actual mirror.
James Coulibaly running in the 9th spot in LMP. Just under 17 minutes remain. The stream chat's been awful quiet tonight. We've got the league admin. We've got Jill Crouch, Terry's wife. We got Brittany Burrows. I think that's Kevin's wife. And that's it. So if you guys are watching, and I know there's more of you watching, chime in. We don't bite. Say hello. Where are you watching from? Who are you cheering for? All the good stuff. We used to even have a guy in here who would jump in and do trivia questions. So if you got something like that, we're okay with it.
Yeah, I think our trivia guy's on vacation still. He's living the life out there.
Can't say I blame him.
No, not one
Oh, side by side through the chicane. Oleg, full commitment. Coulibaly goes wide into the grass. They don't make any contact, but man, they weren't giving up.
He didn't lift one bit coming back on the track. That is awesome. Good piece of driving.
Really has been the hot corners this afternoon, this evening, is those last couple of turns through the chicane, 14 and 15, as they get into the final right-hander turn 16. Let's go back again and take a look. Coulibaly just got too much of the curb and it sent him wide on the next turn. It's very similar to the George Russell incident last week, the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. Got the curb and put it into the fence. Luckily here it's all grass runoff. Oh man, but Terry Crouch still checking out, still increasing the gap back to Carver. It's almost 11 seconds here, 26 laps in, 15 minutes to go. We've talked about it so many times too, Zach, is you got that kind of a lead. You want to say, all right, let's take care of the stuff a little bit here. Let's not abuse the tires. Let's keep the temperatures down the best that we can. But you know as well as anybody, a lot of times your push lap, you're almost more comfortable than trying to be careful. It's when you start trying to slow down a bit, you make mistakes, and then all of a sudden you're backwards. And the guy in second that you've got 11.5 second lead on, all of a sudden he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, sometimes when you're not pushing your normal fast lap, sometimes you're hitting different points on the track and you're not hitting your normal line. And it only takes, half a car to hit a curb or something, and it'll throw you off completely, and like you said, lose the lead. But Terry, he runs these fast laps, and he's just in full relax mode. He's so comfortable with the car yawed out, and it really is fun to watch. You can just see him get back to power there just so easy.
Looks like we've got Hadley Burrows in the chat now. I'm assuming that's going to be Kevin's daughter. It's a good name. My niece's name is Hadley. Kyle Surratt in the pit lane for his final stop of the night. 13 minutes remaining. This should be a quick stop. I'm going to assume this is going to be a splash and go. And a half second stop for Kyle Surratt, fuel only, as Kevin Blue now into pit lane. Blue throttling up, getting ready to roll here. 12.8 seconds for Kevin Blue. Fuel only. He's done for the afternoon. All the way to the checkers. Terry Crouch as the race leader in pit lane, going by Oleg Vorotnik. Oleg off the pace. I don't know if he ran out of fuel. He's still under power. So here is the litmus test. How long does Terry Crouch take fuel for? 12 seconds, 12.4. Terry Crouch down and away. And for the time being, we have a new race leader, and it's Chris Generelli. Chris's last stop came at lap 14. It was a 21-second stop at the time. I can assume that he took tires. We don't know for sure. It's one thing I wish that the overlay system would tell us is how many sets of tires did they use and when.
Yeah, that would be pretty handy. Hint, hint, SDK. Hint, hint.
The reality of it is they're really kind of hamstrung based on what information iRacing is willing to send out through the data stream. If iRacing doesn't talk about it, doesn't push it, it really doesn't matter. No one can really do much with it. Carlos Ramos having an issue on the track. Let's take a look, see what happened here with the number 97. Oh, just high-sided a bit on the curb. Does he get the Armco? He does not. Locks it up. Very easy to do. Those curbs are pretty high through that section of the track. Generelli in pit lane as Terry Crouch retakes the top spot with 9.5 minutes remaining. So when I made my pick for Flo Doms, we know he's got a lot of pace. In fact, he has run a minute 43.381 lap. He has the second fastest lap to Terry Crouch's minute 42.79. But when I picked Flo, I hadn't counted on the fact that Terry was starting from pole. So remember last week at Monza when Flo and Terry had their issues? Flo was able to get it repaired and come back through, but Terry was a little worse for wear. It didn't work out.
Well, the way your pre-race guesses have gone, I fully expected Flo to just come from the back to front like 10 laps. I just was waiting for it this whole time.
You win this time, Millet.
Finally. It's only been like 6 months.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's true.
I'm not trying to,
in advance,
not trying to throw any shade over at Terry Crouch, but this one continues the way it has been. He's got it well in hand. 13.5 seconds over second place running Alex Carver. 27 seconds to Chris Generelli. Flo Doms, 29 seconds plus back from leader Terry Crouch. So I think Flo is just going to try and cash in, get what he can here, but he's going to push. He's going to probably try and catch Chris Generelli here and take that third spot on the podium. This battle's going to shape up here momentarily.
Well, if you can get a podium out of this, that's one heck of a drive.
But then again, if he finishes where he's at now, or even in the top 3 outside of the race win, he no longer has that win penalty next week at Le Mans. Terry Crouch will. Kevin Burrows still leading in GT3. healthy lead over Rob Campbell in second, 8.9 seconds back. Dave Seats still running in the third spot. Still a ways back from Rob Campbell and Sean Roberts closing in on the LMP. Brian Zinn not too far back though. Brian in the other Porsche running in P4. A couple of seconds back from Dave Seats. That could shape up. We'll see if it comes to fruition. Sean Roberts have an issue? Yes, he has. Let's go back and take a look at it. There was more to that story for sure. We've just seen Roberts go by the GT machine. Down into turn one. Left side's on the curb. Just a little too hot into turn one. No contact, it looks like. GT car splitting around. I don't know, 5.5 minutes remain here. I don't know if Flo Doms is going to be able to reel in Chris Generelli here or not. It's a couple of seconds, the differential between the two.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch him and another thing to pass him, so we'll see.
Traffic not helping the cause for Flo Doms. That really is a lot of it too. If anybody's new to class racing and endurance and sports car racing, it's in this situation. You see Flo, he's a couple of seconds back. If Chris Generelli catches a slower GT car in the perfect spot, he can make that pass without losing even a tenth of a second, whereas Flo Doms, if he catches that driver right at the apex of the next corner, it could cost him 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths in just one turn. Ultimately be a very frustrating part of racing in the faster class.
Well, he closed up about 3/10 there the last couple corners, so.
That's the thing. I mean, we got 4 minutes to go here. If he can get some clean laps in, he might be able to make a challenge. Terry Crouch, though, still leading now, 11.4 seconds on Carver. This would be the battle. Ironically enough, this is the battle for third spot. We also have that same battle shaping up in GT. Dave Seats and Brian Zinn. Keep going back and forth between those two. Still some distance back to Zinn. And then some GT traffic again. We'll see where Flo catches him. Just like we said a moment ago, the worst possible scenario.
Oh, it's tough.
It's lucky, though. It was the slower portion of the racetrack, turn 8. In that instance, we talked about how these LMPs, yes, they're fast. Yes, they have a ton of downforce. When you get down to low speed cornering, they kind of equalize a bit with the GT cars. So it may not have been as much of a slowdown as it could have been here with less than 3 minutes to go. I think Flo still has a chance here. He's within half a second, not even 4/10 as they come up into the chicane turns 14 and 15. Now it's a car length.
He's there.
He's got time. There's another lap or two left at least before this one's over. Flo may have a podium if he can make this one work. Dives it way down to the inside, trying to get into the head of Chris Generelli. That's all that was. That was a mind game 100%. There's no way he's making that move.
Yeah, we're going to see him take the wider entry and then straighten out his exit here. One of these corners coming up and try to get a run.
Another GT car going to come into it. Looks like that might be Brian Zinn. Oh, has to dive it in there. Does a good job not to lose any time. Right there on the back bumper.
Wow, that was absolutely perfect.
Minute and a half to go. Flow alongside. Has the preferred line, takes the spot. Final minute from the Nurburgring. Terry Crouch crosses the stripe. This should be the final lap.
Barney's sleeping again.
Yeah, for some reason, Barney doesn't like to wave the flags here on these road courses. Meanwhile, Dave Seats has checked out from Brian Zinn. It's about 4.5 seconds with under a minute to go. Kevin Burrows, also a very healthy lead over Rob Campbell in P2. Just needs to make it back around. Last lap for Terry Crouch, a minute 44.46. Still 2 seconds plus faster than second place running Alex Carver. And Chris Generelli, did he just crash? Not sure, he still maintains that fourth position. Surpassed 1 hour, so the next time by we should see the checkered flag for Terry Crouch with the TLDR Sim Sport. Kevin Burrows still leads in GT, also with TLDR Sim Sport. Could be 2 in a row. The TLDR Sim Sport sweep. Crouch through the chicane, 14 and 15. The last corner, turn 16. Checkered flag in the air. Terry Crouch is going to win it here at Nurburgring. Kevin Burrows well on his way to do just the same. A 9-second advantage as he rolls into turn 16 for the final time. Kevin Burrows, your race winner in GT. Hadley Burrows, way to go, Daddy. Yay, way to go, Terry and Flo. I love it.
TLDR, #1 fan right there.
Terry Crouch taking top honors, as many suspected would, except Millett predicted it.
See, it's a comeback, Terry, that's all. No big deal.
So you see at the top of your screen, Crouch and Burrows victorious from the Nürburgring. We're going to jump out, take a quick break, and we'll have our race winners, our class winners, in the HBR TV booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at the Nurburgring, round 2 of the PFR Sports Car Series in the books. Terry Crouch, your LMP2 and overall race winner. Let's get a word with Terry Crouch. Pull him up into the broadcast booth. Terry, it's Steve and Zach in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
I do. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, sir. Congratulations. A dominant performance here tonight. Definitely led the most laps, maybe a couple that you didn't just due to the pit cycle, but walk us through your preparation and how you got ready for tonight's race here at the Nürburgring.
This week was kind of a less is more. I didn't want to over-prepare. I hopped in the car yesterday and turned some laps, and I thought it was really well suited to this combo. That with no chicane there, the LMP was just fun to rip it around and trust the downforce. And I knew traffic would be a little interesting, and it was, but overall it was a really fun, really good race. It wasn't super eventful. It was just decisions, every lap on what to do with traffic.
Certainly a good race across the board, whether it was side-by-side action there late with some guys. Not so much in your aspects of things, but strategy always in the forefront of your mind. We see that no matter what kind of car you're racing in. Walk us through that strategy. I know Flo had mentioned to us earlier in the week that it's kind of a free pit stop as far as tires are concerned, depending on how much fuel you take. Did you take tires at all tonight?
No, I didn't. If the higher fuel, when we were at whatever it was, 70% or something last week, it was a free pit stop. But with the lower fuel this week, you'd lose about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds on the stop if you took tires. So with as cool as the track was, I knew I wasn't taking them, so it was just send it all race and conserve them as much as I could. So I guess it's a cautious send.
Well, fair enough. We'll trust your judgment. It's paid off many a time, and I'm assuming it's going to continue to do so. With that said, round 3 next week out at Le Mans. I know we did a preseason race there. How do you feel about your chances in round number 3 in this PFR Sports Car Series at Le Mans?
I'm certainly happier to have an EOL at Le Mans than here, because it was pretty tough to pass here. So I felt for Flo, he did a heck of a job coming through. I just got to stop getting slowdowns. I was okay in the preseason race, fighting with Vance, but you get one slowdown there and you're just bleeding time. It's tough to catch up. So if I can get those in check, I feel pretty good about, climbing towards the front. There's so many fast guys here. I don't know that I can do a back to front when they get, the drop at the green, but, I'll do what I can do and try not to wreck.
The only good news about Terry Crouch starting in the back is it's going to be fun to watch either way.
I hope so. Are you saying it's not fun when I start in front?
Well, you're out front. Who are you going to pass?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Terry, congratulations once again on the race win here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Looks like the wife Jill's in there cheering on, and it looks like we got all the TLDR family. We got Hadley Burrows and Brittany Burrows from a teammate Kevin. So to the guys, Flo, heck of a job. Kevin, congrats on his win. He's getting so good in these things, but you guys and Kevin Blue at this league is so much fun. And I should shout out the sponsor GSI because I keep forgetting to do that when we get in trouble.
All right, Terry. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us. Wish you the best of luck next week.
Thanks, boys. And I'm glad Zach didn't pick me. I finally survived.
He did pick you.
Oh, well, I guess that's even better. It's curse broken.
Fix the luck.
Yep.
Yeah, there you
got
go.
her in.
It's like the Madden curse.
There you go. Take care, Terry.
See you, boys.
Terry Crouch, your race winner, overall LMP2. Next, we're going to go to Kevin Burrows. Get a word with our winner in GT. Pull him up here in just a moment here. Kevin, it's Steve and Zach in the HBR TV broadcast booth. Are you with us?
Hey, how we doing?
Hey, there we go. Let's tone you down just a bit. Kevin, congratulations, man. A solid run tonight. Just about as dominant as Terry was in LMP2. You kind of did the same in GT. I'll ask you kind of the same question. What was the preparation like this week coming into Nürburgring? Was there a lot? Terry said it was just kind of last minute. Less is more. Is that the same for you guys?
Yeah, I did a little practice this evening, but not a ton.
With that said, what was the strategy at least coming into tonight? I know Terry said with the cooler temperatures and the reduced fuel load, there wasn't really a benefit to take tires in the fuel stops. Was that kind of the same scenario in GT or no?
Yeah, it seemed like it. I considered tires, but I didn't think the juice was going to be worth the squeeze, so I elected not to. But they felt okay. I got them a little hot there for a little bit and slowed down, just, tried to manage them a little bit better, and seemed to work out okay.
Well, yeah, you came out of here with the checkered flag and a race win in round number 2. So, yeah, I think you made the right decisions. That's all we can really say about that end of things. Next week, though, totally different style racetrack. Of course, we did get some practice at Le Mans in the preseason. But how do you feel about your chances next week in round 3?
Probably not that great. I'm not super familiar with the track, and of course, you get a lot of draft there, so anything can happen real quick there.
Well, we certainly are looking forward to it. We wish you the best of luck. But, Kevin, we're going to let you fly here. Who do you want to shout out to?
Give a shout out to my wife and my daughter for letting me enjoy my hobby, and all the guys over at TLDR. Missed Corey this week, but and you all do a great job. We appreciate you all.
Well, we wouldn't have anything to call if it weren't for you guys turning these laps every week, so we appreciate you. Kevin, thanks for the kind words, and we wish you the best of luck next week at Le Mans.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Kevin Burrows, your race winner in GT. That's going to wrap it up for our interview portion of tonight's race. Well, let's try to get a look here. We'll first look at the race results for LMP2. Pull them up here. Terry Crouch, of course, your race winner. That's practice. That's not going to help us. There we go. Terry Crouch, still your race winner. 1 practice, 1 qualifying, 1 the race. Alex Carver comes home in the 2nd spot. Flo Doms, looks like he still managed to get that podium finish. We saw it here live, the pass on Chris Generelli into the chicane. Generelli comes home in the 4th spot. Kyle Surratt was in the 5th position. 6 went to Brandon Domain. James Koulibaly was 7th. Kevin Blue, 8th. Chris Pio was 9th. Ryan Flanagan, 10th. Oleg Vorotnek was 11th. Carlos Ramos was 12th. 13th was Gabriel Crozier. 14th, Sean Roberts. Kyle Moyer was 15th. 16th went to James Beaumar. Now into GT3. Of course, Kevin Burrows, your race winner. I don't know why it always goes that way, but Kevin Burrows, your race winner. Rob Campbell was P2. David Seitz was 3rd. Brian Zinn, 4th. Nick Matthews was 5th. Rob Henry, P6. 7th place finisher was Mike Hamlin. Josh Heggie was 8th. Rene Garcia was 9th. And Bradley Wilson finished in the 10th position. Last but not least was, oh, we got more. Okay, Joe Tucker was 11th. Nick Batista was 12th. Dalton Powell was 13th. I don't know how many times I got to click that button for that thing to cycle through, but we got through everybody, and that is your race results here from round number 2 from the Nurburgring in the PFR Sports Car Championship. Looking forward to next week at Le Mans, Zach. I don't know if you're going to be around for it. It could be even close for us. Actually, no, we'll be back here. It's on Tuesday. I keep thinking we're still running on Mondays.
Yeah, I should be around. I'm hoping not to miss that one. That's going to be a good race.
Le Mans was, even in the preseason, it wasn't a bad race. I know sometimes that can get kind of strung out, and there's not a whole lot of battles to cover, but even Terry said it. There's some fast guys in this league. I expect to see some battles. We unfortunately missed the battle between Kevin Blue, and I think, who else was it? I think Brandon Domain, possibly. We'll have to go back and look at that later on, but we can't catch them all. Unfortunately, we had really close battles watching there in the top 3 with Flo Doms and Chris Generelli fighting for that spot, and then we were kind of thinking that we were going to see something similar shape up in GT3. Just didn't really present itself, but it is what it is. Le Mans, totally different animal. Kevin said the same thing. The slipstream and the draft can be pretty intense at that place. You make one simple mistake and your day could be done early just because you can lose so much track position so fast out at Le Mans, especially if you're getting out of a corner and you lose it and it's a long straightaway. It is near impossible, especially in a 1-hour race, to make up that deficit.
I'm secretly kind of hoping that Joe Tucker shows up in a next-gen NASCAR, but we'll see.
You know, we should probably talk to Kevin Blue about that. Maybe do our own Garage 56 entry.
Oh, let's do it. I'm in.
Well, either way, that's going to wrap it up for us here at HBR TV from round number 2 at the Nurburgring. The PFR Sports Car Series is in the books. Look forward to seeing you guys next week at Le Mans. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.